Well, good morning to all of you. I can see there is sort of a spontaneous order in the room. It usually happens. This is all about, I'm talking about today. No? For some reason, spontaneous order among reasonable people arises. No? Well, the topic will be artificial economics and political economy. I selected political economy because I don't want to use economics anymore, since we tend to forget that economics cannot survive or does it any sense without institutions. Institutions is the right task for a good economist, designing institutions. So that's the reason for the name. Well, first of all, I think acknowledgement and gratitude are due to the conference organizers for their invitation to deliver this keynote, which obviously has been an honor to accept. To Scott Moss, which is not with us today, Nigel, Klaus, and so many others, which were very generous in helping me in the first steps in this adventure of social simulation. And to Philip Matthew and Frederick Amblar, among other members of the Artificial Economics Society, for sharing their work around 10 years, which is the life so far of artificial economics. And to my colleagues, Adolfo Lopez and many other ones, previously students of my students, now professors, who took the risk premium of investing in the challenges and opportunities of ABM applied to economics and social simulation. Perhaps it's good to remember what a keynote is. I look at the dictionary to inform myself, and I found that a keynote is an address designed to present the issues of primary interest to an assembly and often to arouse unity and enthusiasm. I'm not so sure I will achieve the last item of the sentence at all, but nevertheless I will try. I will address you as a non-partisan economist and industrial engineer, aware of the relevance of ABM in economics. My skills are not in the field of computing or information technologies, as it is the case with many of you and some of my colleagues at the University of Valladolid in the Institute of Social Simulation. First of all, I want to fix what I understand by artificial economics. To me, it's experimental economics with ABM. That is, it extends experimental economics by using soft agents with the ultimate goal of designing appropriate economic institutions. Here you are. Our task is designing proper economic institutions and obviously modeling as well as a consequence. Please note that your questions I want to understand will be addressed perhaps to me, but they are for anybody in the audience so that we can get the emergence of collective wisdom, which will be far superior to my wisdom, naturally. I've organized the talk in 4 issues, so it's a bit long. Some challenges in economics, some old challenges, and some new challenges. What did economics learn from the 70s crisis? What are we learning from the actual crisis? And finally, ecological rationality and socially inspired methods, in my opinion, both in economics and management, are the scope and the excellence of experimental economics and subsequently artificial economics. Some initial remarks which fix up what I think. Probably it's controversial, and some of you already disagree. That's a good thing. We are here just to compete in a good mood. Economics is a social science. Because it is social, it inherits complexity. But it's a science as well, so it demands experimentation. Yet conventional wisdom has widely regarded economics as a non-experimental science that had to rely on observations of real-world happenstance data rather than on controlled experiment. This has been the story of economics till the last 20 years. But for economics to catch up with the economy, it has to handle instability. So if we build up models that put in the forefront equilibrium, they are useless. We need heterogeneous agents, evolution, path dependence, and bounding rationality. If our models are to be socially useful, although perhaps not mathematically beautiful. With the Nobel Prize awarded to Kahneman and Smith, economics was recognized finally as an experimental science, not without dispute, mind you, and experimental economics was accepted finally as mainstream economics. Artificial economics extends the scope of experimental economics, as I said, and it helps handling the social complexity of political economy, which is far beyond the complexity of economics itself. And it can guide us in shaping the missing source of rationality in economics, ecological rationality. The core of my keynote will be the concept of ecological rationality and collective intelligence. It can provide functional content to the verbal narrative accounting of the classical political economists, Smith, Hume, Hayek, or contemporary ones like Minsky. And it helps to design efficient exchange institutions, say auctions, solving at the same time the inherent problem of choice under scarcity, thus allowing us to export inspired methods, socially inspired methods, to other fields, in particular to management engineering.